Well, what we have for you today for our woodworking project is going to be this hanging basket stand with a little welcome on it. You can change that if you want to change it. These are pretty simple to make. They're not going to be very hard. It's made out of 2x4s, 2x6s, and a piece of 2x8. So it's really simple. And we're going to show you guys how to do it. Let's go ahead and go to the miter saw and start cutting this center piece here out. We're going to cut it out and we're going to put that together first, and then we'll go from there. All right. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut two boards 28 inches long. This is 2x4, so you want them 28 inches. Okay, now we need two of them. Got a little splinter, got to be careful of that. We need two of them 24 inches long. See what we get left out of this one. Okay, now what I was doing to the other one was I cut an angle on these. Okay, so what we kind of do is cut an angle here in a 45. Leave it about maybe a 1 inch, I would say. So if I would measure up on the end here, and I'd just mark onto like maybe, let's go 3/4. Okay, so that'd be half of the 2x4. And then we're going to cut it this way. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to go 3/4 of an inch and mark the center. Okay. Now before we do this, we want to make sure. Okay, we want to make sure we cut both in the same angle. So if this angle comes this way, like this, then this angle down here should go this way. Okay. Okay, now this is going to be the top board. So let's take them back over to the table and put these things together. Okay, what this board's going to be is it's actually going to be the board that kind of slides down. Let me pull this over here. You can see it. It's going to actually go right up in here like this. Okay, so by putting that at 45 on here, it's going to be easier to kind of set the top on it. You understand what I'm saying? Just like that. Okay. So this is going to be a top. You get 28 inch here on the side and 28 inch. Let me go this way here. The table's not big enough. Like that. That's a pretty rough looking board. Make sure our board's lined up. Yep. Now I'm going to use a clamp just to kind of help me hold it together. Now you can countersink these if you want. I like countersinking them. I like getting them down in the wood. But if you're using a 3-inch nail or a 3-inch screw, you don't really have to. But there we go. Wasn't too bad. Now I'm just going to turn this thing around here because I need to get a little bit closer to me. Oh, get in there. It must be messed up. Oh, I found those screws before messed up on the top where you couldn't get the bit down in it for some reason. Okay. Set this off to the side. I don't need that anymore. Okay, here, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. Okay, next thing you want to do, we want to build the bottom. So let's go back over to the saw and we'll go ahead and cut a 2x8, and then we're going to cut a 2x4, but we're going to cut the 2x4 in half. We're going to make little legs on the bottom. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, we got a 2x8, and we're going to cut that off 24 inches. Okay, two 2x4s, we're going to need those, and these are going to be leg parts. So they're going to be 16 inches long. So cut your two 2x4s 16 inches long, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is let me go ahead and put this back down. We're going to cut this down to 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to set it 2.5 and get this cut. We're going to cut it down 2.5 inches like this. Off to the side. Now, okay, we got 16 inches long, 2.5 inches wide. Now we need a 1 inch. So we're gonna have to flip it up this way. Bring it all down to 1 inch. It's going to be 1 inch thick. Just like that. Let's go ahead and move this off. I gotta move this off the table here for a minute. And we're going to go ahead and place these legs on the bottom. This is going to be the little feet, I guess you want to call it. And I'm going to set it underneath like this. And I keep this stand from flipping over. So, we got 16 inches. I'm going to find the center. So our center would be 8 inches. Let me mark down here. Now we need to center this thing. So it would be 3 5/8. Another 3 5/8. Marks here on the side, that's what I want to do. Yeah, these are not too bad. I kind of like making things like this. Once you get the hang of it, it's fine. Okay, let's put the screws on the bottom. There we go. Let's see, probably about maybe a 2-inch screw. Make sure we don't go all the way through. Now you can put glue if you like to put a little glue down there. You know, I'm showing you how to do it. You guys, if you want to throw a little glue, it'll be fine. Okay, so there's our little legs or feet, I guess you want to call them. And of course, this is going to go just like that there. Okay, so we got to find the center of this here again. So we already have the center down below, so I got to find the center of the 2x4. We're just trying to keep it, you know, where it looks kind of half decent there. I mean, if you're off a little bit, don't worry about it. That's not things we should really concern yourself, because you know, if you make 2 or 3, you're probably better at the next one anyways. So let's go an inch, about an inch and 3/4 for center of a 2x4. To make it easy for you, I'll give you the, a little where you don't have to really do too much thinking there. How about that? There you go. 1 and 3/4. Now I'm just going to drill on the top of this. You don't have to. You could drill on the bottom, and then put some screws across here. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do this one a little bit different. And I'm going to paint this bottom piece now before I put it on there. And then that way you know, I don't have to worry about getting the paint on the rest of this here. But so it's better if you just go ahead and go ahead and paint this up here first. So okay, so let me go ahead and get that painted, and we'll be right back in a second. And I'm sure you don't want to see the paint dry, but we'll have it done here in a minute. Okay, we're back. We got it painted. It's nice and dry, and this is what color we're using is the brown, and that's going to be our base. So now we can go ahead and put this on and line up our centers again. It's an inch and a half. We're going to throw in some 2-inch nails. Go. And then we'll probably put some more in it later. Just go ahead and get it built, and now we want to do this top piece. Okay, we're going to put ours on this stand here. The reason why is because we go too far, we're going to hit the ceiling. And that's what's hard about in small places when you do woodworking. So we're going to go ahead and do it this way, and then we're going to get the measurements, and then we're going to go over to the saw and cut the top piece here. And it's going to be, we're going to have one of them 25 and a half, and then we're going to have one of them 24 inches long. So one's going to overlap the other. That's why that one's a little bit longer. And then we're going to end up cutting 45 on them, 45-degree angles on the ends. Now, you really don't have to cut the 45 on the ends if you don't want to. You can leave them straight. But we're going to cut, and then we're going to paint ours all up. So let's go ahead, grab those boards, and get started. Okay, let's cut the 24-inch first. Now we need a 25 and a half. Okay, now if you like, if you've seen the picture, or I showed you about the one I made, you can cut a 45-degree angle on these if you like to, but you don't have to. You can leave them square. Let's see if we can cut a 45 on this saw and take it back to my big saw. Now, see, some of the saws will cut all the way down to allow you to cut that distance, even with the blade with the 2x6, so you have to cut it on something else. So, well, we got to cut. We went back and cut it on the other miter saw I have, and like I said, some of the saws you got enough room to cut that angle, and then some you don't. But you don't have to cut that. Don't worry about it. If you don't, if you can't cut it with that, you know, if that's all the saws you got, that's fine. It don't really have to be that way. Okay, so what we want to do is we have a 25 and a half, and then we have the 24. So if we want to overlap it, we're going to do so. Just make sure you measure it out and which one is which, you know, because if you measure 25 and a half here, and then you butt them together, you should have another 25 and a half on this side, and that'll allow you to have two like that. So let's get this turned this way. And we're going to put a few screws in the top. I'm going to use a 3-inch screw. Countersink them down. Now I'm going to put plugs in the top of mine. if that's what you want to do. You can bring it to the surface if you want to just countersink them to the surface. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go down further and then end up putting plugs in it. Okay, now next thing we're going to do, we're going to paint this top. I found out it was a lot easier if I paint it than before I stick it on. Okay, we're going to paint this and let it dry. We'll be back in a minute. Alright, we're back, and here's what we got is the brown. That's what we're going to do the top. So we're going to go ahead and put it on and see what it looks like. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Put it up on top. There you go. Not bad. So we want to make sure we center it. And then we want to make sure it's exactly the same on both sides. So we're going to need to do a little bit of measurement here. We've got about 5.5 here on this side. Need to come over just a little bit. There we go. Yep, just center it up real nice. And then we're going to have to put some screws. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my screws up in this way, up in the corners here like this. That way I don't have to worry about putting plugs up here. Okay, there you go. Now what we have to do is go ahead and build the top pieces. And I did find out that it's better just to take it, lay it back down, and just kind of mark it out and use it by eye. Cut them on a 45-degree angle like your first one. We'll show you how to do it. Okay, we do have a couple pieces of scrap wood. We have one already cut on a 45. So what we're going to do is just lay it up underneath it here. And sometimes it's just as easy to do it this way. You might have to make several cuts on it. So don't worry about that. Just go ahead and do the cuts, but always make it a little bit longer, and then that way you can cut it down to size. So let's see what this does. Okay, now what we need to do is cut the top piece. So this is a nice piece. We're just going to keep this one and go and cut 45 on this top piece, and then we'll come back and do the same type of measurements. Okay, let's see if we can get this board in there. And we're going to move a few things out of the road. Seems like it's kind of congested there. Okay, let me go over and cut this one. Now we got this cut. Let's see if we can get it placed up in here. get this set up here. I probably do a little bit better if I got it set up. See if we can't get this centered. I just put screws on the top of this. I just went down through here, okay? It seemed to be a little bit easier, and then I put some plugs in so it'll kind of hold it. Make it okay. Feels like it slips through that for some reason. And I probably don't need that big of a screw. I'm going to use 2" on that. I think that's long enough, 2 inches. And then I did one more thing. Is what I did, I picked out whatever side I wanted. I wanted for the front. So I think I'm going to use this one for the back right here. So just kind of lay it down a little bit here, like this. I stuck a screw right up through in the back here. I just kind of held them together a little bit better than what it was. And then, of course, I put plugs in here and just repaint it back over top of that. So let's go ahead and finish it. When you put that hook on, just go ahead and, just measure it here in the center, and then stick a hook in there. Depends on what type you have. If you have a little S hook or something, or just figure out something you can put up there. Just not a lot of room. Not a lot of room. When you got small shops, this is what you deal with right here, small shops. Now, grab this. The stencil is for the welcome here in the front. Let me go ahead and turn it around where I want to keep the front. I have to sand this a little bit. But the welcome fits right in there like this. What I did, I just went ahead, just kind of stuck it down a little bit of glue on the back of it. You can buy that Elmer's glue. It works really well to keep that paint from going in between. Hold back a little bit. you know, when you spray it. This in here, I got it from Amazon, so you can look it up on Amazon. It's 12 inches by 4. So look on Amazon, see if you can find that 12 by 4. It'll be 12 inches this way, 4 inches wide. They make a lot of different ones. That's the best one I can find to fit up here in that corner. And then of course I'm probably going to use the stain. You can paint them any color you like. I just thought I'd do this in 2 different colors than what I did the other one. Just see what it kind of looks like. You know, every time I do these, I always change something. You know, there's something else you might like this base back down here in the bottom. You might want to make it a little bit longer. That 2 by 8, you could probably put an inch on each side of it if you like. The legs the same way. If they come out 16 inches, so they should be pretty sturdy from being tipped over. She shouldn't have any problem with that. And then the rest of it, like I said, if you don't want to put these on there, just go ahead and run them out square. It'll be fine. And then just keep trying. Now, if you have problems getting these lined up here, of course, the roof is the big thing is being it's only 45. But if you have problems with it and it kind of makes you mad, which I've had times where I couldn't get angles right either. But you can put a small little trim board if you had something. I don't have nothing on me right now, but just something really skinny, you know what I mean? Like you could put around it, okay? And then staple that on there, maybe with a little bit of glue and a pen nailer. And that way you can kind of hide that little cut that goes up through and comes down if you don't want to see that. If you just want to make it a little bit nicer, that would be just fine. So, okay, that's it for the project today. I hope you guys are going to build one. And then, like I always say, build one for someone else. It'd be great for grandparents or a great gift. Or just make a little bit of money off of it. Take it out and sell them. Make a couple different ones. Take this one, the plans I'm giving you for this one here, how to build this one. And just kind of imagination, let it go wild and kind of do some different things with it. And then maybe put some lights and things like that on it. Whatever you want to do. That's it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Hit that like button, really appreciate that. It helps out the channel. You guys stay cool in this hot weather we have, and you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.